What is good, guys? Harry here. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how we scaled this clothing brand to over 200,000 in a little under 30 days. So you can see right here, we spent 41,000. And if I tally this up, so if I go had delivery, so these are the ad sets that were on at the time. See the dates in the 7th. These are very recent results. You can see we spent 41,000. Average orders sitting at 84. Cost per purchase at 15. Return on ad spend at 5.33 and 223,000 just over a little 30 days. So this is an abnormally big case study. I want to make that certain. The company is amazing. They had the infrastructure, they had an amazing product, and they also had amazing customers that built amazing content. So obviously these results aren't like typical for most brands. Just bearing in mind the return on ad spend, at scale doesn't normally sit that high, because for this brand, 2.7 and over was where they were profitable. So anything over 2.7 x return on ad spend, they were profitable. So imagine making, 233 at a 5x. Is just crazy. And yeah, just super blessed. Honestly, one of the greatest clients I've ever worked with. So what I'm going to do in this video is kind of break down exactly what took us, because I've been working with this client for about 6-7 months. We had a very good Q4. We did about 80, 90,000 in revenue in 1 month. But obviously this is an off season, like April to May. You'd think results wouldn't be that good, but we're kind of crushing it. I wanted to show you kind of the results before. So I'll show you like a couple of months back when we weren't making a 5x ROAS at 233,000. I want to break down exactly how we got there and kind of reverse engineer it. So it teaches me as much as it teaches anyone else, because I can go in the future, I can look at this video and go, okay, Harry, what did you do to get there? And I think that's more valuable than just, kind of saying, we generated this for this brand. So yeah, let's hop into it. So I want to start off by showing you type of results in March. So if we go to March, you can actually see in March, 1st to the 31st, is that we were only getting a 2.25, which wasn't ideal, because as I said, break even was 2.7. So that month was not ideal for us. I don't know if anyone else had a bad month in March. Facebook ads just didn't seem to be good, roughly all over the ad accounts. So 35,000 generated at 2.25. So there's me thinking, we've got to do something about this. We've got to make it better. We've got to get that return on ad spend up, because we prioritize return on ad spend. So long story short, before I break down the actual like nitty gritty of it, about, 1 month, about 2 months ago, a big influencer wore the product and it generated quite a few sales organically. I think it generated maybe 20,000 in 1 day, so quite a lot. This wasn't pretty much an A-list celebrity. So as I saw the results were so amazing from that product that the celebrity wore, I thought, it's probably the product. So the first thing I did when I saw that was obviously go ahead and test that product on Facebook ads, and this was just a hoodie. And what I saw, and typically what I do for other brands, is I set up catalog ads. So I have 5 or 10 of the best sellers. And then what I'll do in Facebook is I'll then break that down by product ID. So you can see you can go to catalogs, build a set of the top performing products. And then on the actual Facebook ads, you can break it down by product ID and see which product is performing best. So I decided to go ahead and test this product just with a single image, just a flat lay version of this. And it got really good return on ad spend. It's getting 3 or 4x return on ad spend. So I was like, amazing. But it actually wasn't scaling that well on ads. So I was like, okay, so the product's working, but it's not scaling. Okay, is it the audience or is it the creative? So as you can see here, I have got an audience testing up here, which actually gets the lowest return on ad spend. I'll explain to why that will in a minute. But I had a feeling it was a creative issue. So what I did is I went to the client and they were like, look, as this product's already blown up, we've got a lot of creatives that we get tagged in. And so what happened was we looked for a TikTok, and, the TikTok that she was tagged in one of them had 3,000 views of a content creator making, wearing the hoodie and stuff like that. And all the video was, it was basically someone in their living room basically pointing out the famous person, on TV wearing that product. And then a customer duetted that exact video saying, so I bought this product. It's amazing. Fabric's amazing. Shipping came really quickly, like all the benefits of it, trying it on, saying, I'm going to wear this tomorrow and this is an amazing brand, go and buy from them. This wasn't paid for anything. It was just generally someone wanted to catch the viral trend and basically try on the product. So I didn't think too much of the actual ad creative. I was like, look, I'll go and test it out. And I'll show you now exactly our strategy for testing it out. So you can see all this ad sets within here. You see a lot of different ad sets, but this one, so most of them are kind of the same. So what we did here was we tested that exact creative on broad, so open targeting. So literally no targeting. Gender open, male, female, no actual interest, no audiences, just broad as I like to call it. And as soon as I launched it, it literally got like a 10x ROAS, like literally was cranking out sales. I was like, okay, this is very interesting. So what I then did, and this is partly the scaling strategy, is so what I do is I launch it on a lower budget. So it'd be like maybe like $10 a day and it was getting a 10x ROAS, which is super cool because I know I can then scale it if it's getting consistent sales. So what I then do, if it's at $10 a day, I push it up a little bit. So I maybe put it to like $40, $50 a day, maybe a bit less even. If it holds there and gets still a good return on ad spend, what I then do is duplicate the whole ad set. So what you don't want to do is go from like 10 to 150 a day on one ad set and increase it, because that will probably not work that well. So what you do is just take the ad set, just hit here, and then hit duplicate. And then within reason, I think I duplicate it to about 270 a day. And that's this ad set right here. And you can see it right here. It still was getting a 7.86 return on ad spend. I was like, it's still cranking out sales. It's at a high budget. I was like, shit, man, I can push this way more. That's exactly what I did. I then duplicated it again and put it to 1,000 a day. And it was getting a 6.17. Now, it's interesting because a lot of people scale up ads and normally they tend to tank after a while, or the more you scale them, the lower return on ad spend gets. Now, I think why this held so much consistency and higher return on ad spend is because it had so much social proof. So the ad creative pretty much went viral. Now, running ads in 2023, we do a lot of the time play on virality, because the more you can make an ad creative go viral and get people to engage with it, the lower the CPMs become, the cost of advertising. So it basically makes the cost of advertising lower and lower and lower the more you scale. We've never really had that in Facebook ads. It's the only reason where content's so big is that the more you scale, sometimes the lower CPA gets. You can see right here, not much difference between the low budget ones and the higher budget ones in terms of return on ad spend and CPA. So I ended up with 3 or 4 ad sets. So the 1,000 was about the sweet spot for return on ad spend and scale. What I did do then is duplicate it again to 2,000 a day, which was probably a little bit unnecessary. But I did anyway, and it dropped down. The return on ad spend dropped down a little bit, but I think that was just because I'd been running a creative for quite a bit longer then. But this creative had about 35,000 likes on it, hundreds of comments. The brand does really well in engaging those comments as well, so replying back to them and telling them different things and, saying, get it here and stuff like that. But fundamentally, what drove the results of this was the actual ad creative. Product first, obviously, and then getting an ad creative that just really just took it to the next level and just went viral. What I typically do when scaling is, so they're doing it in the United States, obviously, mainly United States, but as we all know, United States is typically the highest cost of advertising. So if you experience entropy and you can't scale anymore in the United States or whatever, just broaden the countries up. So just go like worldwide, or just, Europe or something that just takes out United States and then scale that way. That's like an instant way to literally go into different markets. Obviously, if you can. But yeah, so my mindset is going 2023. Obviously, a lot of people think, getting influencer shout outs or something is a way to get quick sales, but it's actually not. I would never look at using influencers as getting quick sales, I would always use them to get more sales off ads. So give them a script and saying, we need this, this, and this in the content, and then sending it to them and getting them then to create that content. So another reason why I can keep the return on ad spend quite high is partly due to the fact that my strategy going into ad accounts is I like to spread budget. So you can see that obviously I have, I have 3 different ad sets that are kind of higher budget, but I also like to spread budget through like retargeting and obviously audience testing as well. So you can see I've got my retargeting right now and audience testing right there, and audience testing. You don't want to spread budget between ad sets too much, but you also don't want to have all your budget on one ad set, even though Facebook tells you to nowadays. You just, for years, I've been able to get higher return on ad spend just doing it that way. So having multiple different ad sets, and if it's working really well on broad, then try it out on audiences. So quick recap is like how I'm mainly running ads is if a clothing brand has a lot of SKUs, testing ads really quickly, single image ads, testing the product. And then what we're doing is then moving that to user generated content, video based content, anything based content, because if the product works flat lay, it's going to 100% work in different environments. It's going to work on models, it's going to work in videos, it's going to work here, there, it's going to work everywhere if the product does work. So I want to now break down my audience testing campaign. So what I do for audience testing, you see I've got loads of different audiences here, is I have one single interest per ad set. So it might be streetwear, it might be, another brand, it might be ASOS, just in one ad set. And then, launch 10 of them on your best performing product or ad creative, and then cut what's not. So at lower budget, $5 a day, work out your break even point. So exactly how you need to be profitable. So what return on ad spend do you need, and then cut it if it doesn't make that return on ad spend. So you have to work out the cost per acquisition. So 2.7 for this brand is roughly like $30 cost per acquisition. So I cut it, I leave an ad to then and then cut it if it doesn't work. But audience testing realistically is just about the volume of different audiences. So duplicating new audience. You find a winning audience, click suggestions on the interest, and then duplicate it and just keep on finding different interests basically. In terms of retargeting, we just have simple dynamic products set up. So it's literally just a case of anyone that view contented, add to cart in the last 30 days, in the last 60 days, in the last 180 days. They then get served up with the product they were already looking at on your store. I've got another video on that, how to set dynamic product ads up. They're super effective for clothing brands because, there's multiple products, and, you literally just say, here's the product you were looking at. Do you want 10% off, or here's free shipping, or something like that to incentivize them to come back and buy. Now, finally, after all of that, I want to show you something very interesting. This is new to me because, I ran TikTok ads a little bit, but I didn't think they were that effective, to be quite honest. I've never seen, a huge case study from them. Nothing like this, nothing like Meta. I've never seen, 200,000 a month from TikTok ads. But what I did do is that winning video ad creative, I then transferred to TikTok. And I thought, let's see if it works. And it did. It popped off very quickly. So I'll show you inside the ad account now. You can see in the last 30 days, we spend 30 days. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, that's lifetime. So we go last 30 days, 4,000 spend, 19,000. You can see this is a very early stage ad account. CPA at 20 and return on ad spend at 3.96, which is much lower than Facebook. But it's just a little tip. Like if you've got an ad creator that's working really well, the interface of TikTok is exactly the same as Facebook. So if you can create ads on Facebook, you can create ads also on TikTok exactly the same. Keep it simple on TikTok. It's all creative. Open targeting, literally just it's all creative TikTok. Optimize for complete payment, all that usual stuff. TikTok content just lasts about 5 minutes. So if you run an ad, just be prepared that it's going to fall off very quickly. Like the ad that we're running on Facebook ran for, a month. I ran it on TikTok and it lasted about a couple of weeks at a way lower spend per day. So yeah, no, it's crazy. You just need a lot more content, and it's something I'm pursuing right now. Trying to work it out. Content is kind of king to Facebook ads now. Testing products is king, obviously, but content comes after that. And there's platforms like joint brands, even just reaching out to micro influencers. Like, you don't have to have big influencers. You can send people the product and just say, look, here's a script. Can you kind of follow it? You always want to give them some sort of script. And that'll probably be one of my next videos, is what scripts work for clothing brands, like how to structure the actual ad creative. But for now, I'm still learning that and stuff like that. So if you maybe shoot the first one yourself, test it out on ads, and then if it works, just then give that to another person, so another micro influencer. You don't have to pay them loads. It's all about the actual content rather than the person nowadays. But yeah, guys, Facebook ads are working extremely, or Meta ads or Instagram ads, whatever you want to call them, are working extremely well right now. So are TikTok ads. Everything seems to be getting better in that type of ecosystem. So I'm really looking forward to 2023 and kind of just crushing it with brands, to be honest. If you've got any questions, guys, shoot us a DM on Instagram, _digital_media_. And I'm pretty much more active on there in terms of like replying, because it's customer service. So any questions or anything like that, just drop a comment, a message there, and I'll reply to it. Hope you have a great day, guys. Peace.